Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Epomaker RT100 that was sent over to me by Epomaker themselves for my honest review. Now this is a 96% keyboard and comes in 5 different colors and has an ANSI layout and an ISO layout. It also has different switch options as well. And the one I have today is the retro white and the ANSI layout with their Epomaker Wisteria switches, which goes around $105.99. So for the price, are you actually getting your money's worth? Let's take a look. Inside the box, you get the keyboard itself, a USB-C cable that is not braided unfortunately, but is pretty cool and it is color matched as well. You get the mini TV, a 2.4 Hz dongle. When it comes to the actual keyboard itself, it has hot swap 5-pin south facing with RGB, and it comes with a polycarbonate plate foam and case foam, and the polycarbonate plate does have flex cuts in it. Now usually I'm not a big fan of flex cuts, but because this keyboard itself kind of doesn't really have that much flex to begin with, those flex cuts do definitely help in that department. The mini TV is kind of nice. It looks really cool. Obviously this is more of a novelty thing, but it does have some pretty good information on the actual screen itself, and it does show battery life when you're in wireless mode as well. So while some people might say it's a gimmick or something that it doesn't even need, I do think it is a nice addition, and not a lot of keyboards in the marketplace are doing something like this. So I think it's a good way to stand out from the crowd of all of the budget keyboards that keep on coming out over the past few months. I'm just not a big fan of where they placed it, not because it's on the left side, but because it is also what holds the 2.4 Hz dongle. So if you want to plug in the mini TV to the keyboard, you have to take out that 2.4 Hz dongle from the keyboard itself, and it can get lost. So I'm not a big fan that they're both in the same compartment. I think there should have been a different slot for both the TV and dongle. Now with that being said, the switches are pretty solid. I really like the colorway. There is a slight scratch to them, but there's no ping that I could hear right out the box, so that is obviously a good sign. And they felt pretty decent. They're a linear switch, and honestly, I've quite enjoyed typing on them. The sound profile I got out of this keyboard was very deep, and that's straight up stock. Now I'm not too sure if the switches have anything to play in that department, but plastic keyboards are usually on the deeper side of things when it comes to sound profile than aluminum, so that could also be playing a big factor. The knob on this keyboard is actually a bit different than most, so it's actually 2 parts. The whole knob doesn't move or turn, only the outside of it does turn, and it has a very sharp and higher pitched ticking noise than a normal knob does. Not too big of a fan of that. And the middle part of the knob goes down, but the side of it doesn't, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like 2 pieces put together. So that makes me wonder how well this knob will hold up over time, considering it is also just plastic and not aluminum. The stabilizers aren't the greatest, and I think that is probably the biggest downside that I can say for this keyboard. I would definitely recommend taking them out and lubing them yourselves, because they definitely do need that. The keycap quality is about what you would expect at this price point, and I can't really say anything bad about it. Now, I would have wished to have seen a cherry profile keycap set, considering this keyboard does have south-facing switches, so I think you should take advantage of that if you are making a keyboard that has south-facing sockets, but that's just my opinion. At least the keycap profile isn't too bad. The font they use on these keycaps is quite ugly in my opinion, and it looks like worse than an SA keycap set too, because SA keycaps usually have big letters. It just looks very in your face. With that all being said, here's a sound test. You guys can hear how it sounds. Overall, I think when it comes to the sound department, it does really nail it. I really like how it sounds, and the feel of these switches and just the keyboard in general is great. I think the spacebar definitely needs some work. I would probably fill up that spacebar as it does sound pretty hollow, so maybe some foam for the spacebar itself. And then I would also, of course, like I mentioned before, lube the stabilizers. But in terms of other modifications, I don't necessarily think you have to do any, as the keyboard itself does not sound hollow at all. So the foam department is great. Just fix the stabilizers, put some foam in the spacebar, and you're good to go. I'll be leaving a link to this keyboard in the description below if you are interested in checking it out. But let me know what you guys thought about the Epomaker RT100 in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.